Visual Studio Code is a well-known cross-platform code editor. This video will take a closer look at an extension that enables you to use the PVS-Studio analyzer in Visual Studio. To install the PVS-Studio analyzer extension, open the Extensions tab and search for PVS-Studio. A recognizable icon will appear in the search results. Then click the Install button. On Windows, you can also add the extension for Visual Studio Code during the analyzer installation. To do this, choose Integration with Visual Studio Code in the relevant installer window. Once PVS Studio is installed, it will appear as a tab in the bottom panel of Visual Studio Code. If the PVS Studio window is hidden, you can bring it back by using the PVS Studio Show Window command in the Command palette. The PVS Studio extension for Visual Studio Code enables analysis of C, C++, C# and Java projects. Let's go through the steps to run an analysis for each language. Before analyzing a CMake project, make sure to install the CMake Tools extension for Visual Studio Code. This plugin is compatible with both Ninja and Makefile generators. You can specify the generator to be used in the plugin settings. Note that the project must be built before it can be analyzed. To do this, click the Build button in the lower left corner of the Visual Studio Code Editor window. After that, click the Analyze Project button in the PVS Studio tab to run the analysis. The extension will prompt you to select the type of analysis – regular or intermodular. To run the analysis of an MSBuild project, open the project directory where the solution file is located. When you click Analyze Project for the first time, a message will appear confirming that a file with analysis parameters has been created. In this file, you can set the analysis settings. If you click Continue in the pop-up window, the analysis will run with the default parameters. To analyze Java projects, the Java Analyzer core must be installed. By default, the extension searches for the Analyzer core in the following directories. If the core is located in a different directory, specify its path in the extension settings. You will need the JDK version 11 to run the Analyzer core. By default, the analyzer will use the JDK specified in the environment variables. If multiple JDK versions are installed on your computer, you can set the path to a specific JDK in the PVS Studio extension settings. It's also recommended to run the Java Reload Projects command in the command palette before starting the analysis. If a list of your project modules appears after running the command, ensure that all modules you want to analyze are ticked. To start the analysis, click Analyze Project. When you run the analysis for the first time, a window will appear notifying you that a file with analysis settings has been created, similar to what happens during MSBuild project analysis. You can also configure parameters in this file similar to the console version of the analyzer. If you click Continue, the analysis will proceed with the default settings. After the analysis is completed, the list of warnings issued by the analyzer will appear in the PVS Studio tab. In addition to viewing the analysis results, you can also open the Analyzer report using the PVS Studio extension for Visual Studio Code. To do it, click Open Report. Note that the extension only supports reports in JSON format. If the report contains relative paths, you must specify the source tree root option in the Settings window under the Other tab. The PVS Studio extension interface for Visual Studio Code enables you to filter warnings by various parameters. Filter warnings by specific diagnostics, file names or messages. Select warning levels to be displayed in the table. Choose the Analyzer diagnostic groups. If some filters are not needed, you can free up screen space by hiding them from the tab. To do this, use the Filter, Level and Group buttons. Double-clicking a warning will take you directly to the spot in the code where the error was found. By default, the PVS-Studio extension for Visual Studio Code displays only the code, message and file columns in the table. To add more columns, right-click on the table and select the option to display the desired column. Additionally, you can display a checkbox to mark the warning as false, false alarm, the warning report number, ID, the CWE warning classification, CWE, another classification of the warning in terms of security, SAST, the project or projects in which the error is located, projects. Click the lighting button to suppress warnings. This feature can be useful when analyzing a project for the first time, as it allows you to hide irrelevant warnings. After clicking the button, the solution presents two options: suppress all warnings or only those displayed in the table. Warnings will be suppressed into the existing suppress file. If the file doesn't exist, it will be created in the PVS-Studio directory within the project. If you need to suppress a specific warning, right-click on the warning and select Add Message to Suppression file. Clicking the Gear button in the Plugin tab will take you to the Extension Settings page. In the first False Alarms tab, you can enable or disable the display of false positives in the extension table and set automatic file saving when a warning is marked as false. The Columns tab allows you to customize which columns are displayed in the table. Previously, this was done through the context menu. The Diagnostics tab lets you enable or disable specific diagnostic rules or groups of diagnostic rules: Fails, General, Optimization, Customer, 64-bit, MISRA, AUTOSAR, or WASP. In the Excluded Paths tab, you can add or remove paths from the excluded paths list. To remove a path from the excluded ones, just click the Remove button. To add a path, enter the path in the input field and click the Add button. You can also add a path to the excluded ones using the context menu. In the Analysis tab, you can configure the timeout after which the analysis will automatically stop, set the number of threads used during analysis, and enable or disable the automatic deletion of temporary files created during analysis. In the License tab, you can enter a license and view its details, while in the Other tab, you can configure the source tree root, which we mentioned earlier. So, we have covered how to use the PVS-Studio extension for the Visual Studio Code editor. If you can't find what you are looking for, we recommend checking the PVS-Studio documentation, where you'll likely find the answer to your question. You will find the link in the video description. Thanks for watching!